We're back for day 2 here at the 2026 Senior League Softball World Series. 6 games coming your way across the complex here in Lower Sussex, Delaware, as we get our tripleheader started with South Carolina taking on the defending champions Grand Blanc out of Michigan. 10 teams from around the world have all come here for the chance to be crowned champions. They're split into 2 pools, 5 pools each. Players ages 13 to 16 playing in 7-inning games. What a beautiful game, a beautiful day to go for day number 2. We're going to get our day started in Pool B. Canada and Central, both winners yesterday. We'll see the other teams in action. 8 of the 10 took to the field yesterday on opening day. And with that, we welcome you into Lions Field alongside 2-time SEC champion Riley West. I'm Dorian Kraft. Riley, South Carolina and Michigan, they're coming in off of opposite results yesterday, but day 2, we know anything can happen.
Yeah, and for South Carolina, just them getting back on track. But for Central Michigan, it's going to be having that target on their back, the defending champions, now trying to stay on track, not make the moment too big, not trying to breeze through the tournament, but taking it one game at a time.
South Carolina manager Brian Jones said there was a lot to like from the opening game against Canada. He's going with his same batting order. They only managed, though, 2 hits coming from the number 1 and 3 spot in the order.
Yeah, I like keeping the lineup the same, especially Valeur on the top of the lineup. She had one of the best, or quite a few good at-bats there. Just now the rest of the team trying to follow the same exact game plan.
South Carolina going to be going up against Danielle Golan. This is a deep pitching staff for Grand Blanc.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of different pitchers from Michigan, but Danielle Golan, she has a little less velo than the other pitchers. She's going to work predominantly at the bottom part of the zone with the drop ball, trusting her defense, rolling a lot of ground balls, and very precise with her spots.
So Veeler, Addie Broughton, and Savannah Paget due up here in the top of the first for South Carolina. They dropped their opener to Canada yesterday, 10-0 in the opener. First pitch, lifted out to right center field, belted down the way out to the fence. Veeler turning for second. She's going to be in there with a stand-up double on the very first pitch. That's a way to start things off.
That is, and when you lose a game by quite a few runs, it really kind of gets you back in gear, gets you something to play for, and this swing is playing for something. Look at the way she's able to inside out. That pitch was pretty much on the inside corner, and being able to drive it forward. Good hitters stay inside of balls, and Valeur picking up with the good at-bats that she had yesterday, leading off for her team with the double.
Exactly what you want from your tone setter. Broughton, first pitch swinging over to the right side. It'll be a ground out, but it does advance the runner, so really aggressive start. They've only seen 2 pitches, has South Carolina.
And I love this approach from South Carolina, especially when you're going against the defending champions. You got to get going, you got to get going early. Usually you like to catch a team in the first couple innings when maybe they're waiting to see if you punch first. You want to get them when they're not on their toes quite yet.
Savannah Paget had the other hit for South Carolina, takes a first pitch strike called on the outside corner. Paget is the power hitter in this lineup. Favorite athlete, Cooper Flag, tons of explosive power there. Paget, a pair of home runs in the regional tournament.
One of those home runs in the tournament was to tie a ball game. So just familiar with those clutch moments, sending her team in regionals to international tiebreakers. So early in this game, it feels like a really intense moment, and she can handle it.
Leaves that one low. Good eye from Paget, 2-1. And that's the component that goes with being aggressive. It's selectively aggressive, not expanding the zone.
You know when you go against good pitchers, they're trying to get ahead, so you got to be picky on which pitch you go for.
Went for the 2-1, swung through the curveball, 2-2.
It looks like Michigan's defense is playing behind the baseline. So it looks like their middle infielders are going to go to 1 on a ground ball. Potentially early in the game, you let a run score to get an out.
Off speed, fouled away by Paget. We'll get into Michigan's lineup shortly as we get to the home half of the inning, but that's a team that plays with a lot of confidence. 1 run, not really going to phase them.
Yeah, how do you not play with confidence when they had a couple bombs yesterday, defending champs, a lot of run rule victories to get to this tournament.
2-2. Line back up the middle. Southeast strikes first on the RBI single from Savannah Paget.
And already a different look from South Carolina, a little bit more aggressive. Base running, hitting, going for the first good pitch that they see. Paget grinding out this at bat. Look at how her back knee is below this ball. With the drop ball pitcher with Golan, you're gonna hit a lot more low line drives, and South Carolina already doing so. Led by Pageant, the power hitter, like you said earlier, one of 2 hits yesterday, already getting it going today, getting an RBI, getting on the board for her team.
Southeast has already matched their hit total from yesterday. 2 hits, again, coming from Wheeler and Paget. Just scored their first run of the tournament, and now Kate Sheely batting in the 4th spot, the pitcher with an opportunity to help herself here early on. First pitch squirts by. Paget off and running. She's easily into second base.
With the drop ball pitcher as a base runner, when you take your lead off, you want to have your hips facing the next base, because balls in the dirt, you can easily move up.
Sheely left it low again, 2-0. Sheely says her special talent is overpacking. I am right there with you. 2-0, that's a big, healthy cut. Swung through it, 2-1.
You know, I'm right there with Sheely as well. My back coming here a little bit overweight. Thankfully, the gate agent let it go through. Didn't have to worry about paying for that extra weight, but I'm always overweight.
Sheely, another swing and a miss. 2-2 now.
And I like these swings from Sheely. It looks like she's taking big hacks. And when less than 2 strikes, you take those big hacks, you let things happen for you.
Swung on and missed. Golan climbs the ladder for her first strikeout of the day.
And I like that sequence of pitches from Golan, staying on the outside but moving it to different levels.
Defense in the field for Michigan. Golan, Stevenson, the battery, Jackson, Trotter, Johnson, Taylor around the infield, and Freeman, Cresbaugh, and Allen left to right in the outfield. First pitch taken low by the 3rd baseman, Malia Lewis.
Lewis plays the game so she can make it to the World Series. So how about your dreams coming true this week, getting to play on this big stage?
One 1 to Lewis. Golan really trying to work in the rise ball a little bit more here through these last few batters.
Yeah, sometimes as drop ball pitcher, your goal is not to really get a strike on the rise ball. It's just to change the level of the batter, what they're looking for.
Lewis drives it out to shallow right field, and catch is made. Allen coming on, a fantastic grab to get out of the inning, but not before South Carolina strikes first to take the lead. Welcome back. Michigan manager Zach Orr said his team has tons of confidence, and why not? Belted 3 home runs in their opening win over the team out of the East. And again, they get power up and down the lineup.
Yeah, he always says that he has girls on his team that are batting 8th, but can also be the 3-hole. He's very versatile with his lineup. A lot of people who didn't start yesterday are starting today. So able to change things up, and it can count on anyone in this lineup.
Speaking of changing things up, South Carolina going to change things up. Kate Sheely was listed as the starting pitcher on the roster, but Emma Grace Birchmore, the flex player, will get the ball here early on.
And I like this change, especially because Birchmore is in the mid-50s, so not as fast as Sheely. So sometimes when you're going against a really potent offense, you want to change things up, especially the speed. She has great control. She works a screw and a curve, has good command, likes to go on the horizontal plane.
Birchmore did pitch an inning yesterday in the loss against Canada. Came in the 7th inning. It'll be Allen, Jackson, and Freeman coming to the plate for Grand Blanc. They did not trail at any point yesterday, but finding themselves trailing in the bottom of the first here. Yesterday, Allen 2 for 2, had an RBI and a walk. First pitch, off speed, was well ahead of that.
And I think that's why they went with Emma Grace Birchmore, someone who's able to really change speeds effectively. I love to start throwing a changeup. Now Michigan's gonna know she has a changeup in her arsenal, but now they have to figure out how to hit it, how to see it up.
The 0-1. Left high, 1-1. Makes sense. Allen's favorite sports team, just University of Michigan. Blank. Didn't specify a sport, but have to guess probably softball.
There's a lot of good options within university.
1-1. That one stays low and out, 2-1.
Ring and hit, 800 coming in to this tournament, and they say that they don't talk about stats much on this Michigan team, but if I was hitting 800, I'd be talking about my stats.
That's all right, we can talk about the stats for them. The 2-1 to Allen, off speed. That one stays up, so 3-1. Very patient at bat here by the leadoff hitter. This is a Michigan team that returned 7 players off of last year's championship squad. The 3-1 from Birchmore. That one too far inside, so a leadoff walk to Reagan Allen. And the one thing that you don't want to do if you're South Carolina is issue free passes against Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan's going to be one of those teams that takes advantage of mistakes like that, putting balls in play. But I really like that at bat from Allen because she swung at a first pitch that was a ball, bounced in the dirt, and then locked back in immediately and had a great eye for the rest of the at-bat.
Keep your eye on Allen at first. Did have a stolen base yesterday, but that brings to the plate Ayanna Jackson. Big lead taken, and you have some protection from the lefty hitter there, getting off to a good jump.
Yeah, as a former catcher, I can't lie, did not like lefty batters in the box. Runner on first, it blocks your vision of being able to see out the corner of your eye if they've gone.
Jackson 3 for 3 in her own right, had a home run and a double in yesterday's win. Driven deep, belted off the fence. Allen going to be waved around. She will score RBI double. That ball was absolutely crushed.
That ball got off the bat quick, fast, and in a hurry. But what I really like about the swing is when she landed, the first thing that went was her hips. It almost looked like her hips were going before the ball was in the vicinity. But the base running from Allen immediately off the bat, she did not break stride, and that allowed her to score easily.
Setting up exactly the way that their win over East did yesterday. It was an aggressive start for Michigan in that game. And again, going after Birchmore, delayed steal. How about that piece of base running?
And I love good base running. I love heads-up base running. It speeds up the opposing team. But a delay steal, you don't see it much, especially at this age. Catcher West definitely saw her off the bat, but then resulted in going back to her pitcher Birchmore rather than coming up, maybe going after the base runner. Sometimes as a catcher, when you see someone far off, you don't really know exactly what you want to do. The best thing to do is to run directly at them make a decision, whether that's going back to the bag or get them in a pickle going to the next bag.
Freeman, the 17-year-old favorite player is Bree Ellis. That is a great player to look up to. As a high strike call, and I got a chance to call multiple games for Bree. What a fantastic season she had in that last year at Arkansas.
Yeah, and then she had a really phenomenal season in the AUSL this past year. Comeback player of the year. I love that story.
The 1-2. Off speed, tapped. Runner going home, out to first, Paget. Able to get her by a step, but the RBI ground out puts Michigan in front.
Just like that, Michigan back in the game. Just putting pressure on the defense. This is a good pitch by Birchmore on the outside corner. Freeman tries to pull it, but because it's off the end of her bat, slower roller, shortstop Paget tries to go one, gets the out. I like that she went one and got the out because the speed of the base runner, Jackson, it would have been a really tight play at home.
Hannah Jackson, the other player for Grand Blanc that had a home run in the opening win yesterday, was 1 for 3. So it's a really tough ask to get through this central lineup for opposing pitchers. Johnson takes a called strike as the count now even at 1-1.
And I love that her superstition is visualizing success. I don't know if you could call that a superstition or just a really great routine before every game.
It was a great routine. Off speed, hammered to dead away center field. Earl tracking back and makes the catch for out number 2.
Good swing, a good read from center fielder Earl. Line drives right at you are pretty hard. I like the swing from Johnson, going to extension, especially on an off speed, so she kept her hands back longer, able to put a good swing on the ball, but Earl in the right spot at the right time, being able to track it, first step back.
Center fielder McKenna Kresbach stepping in. Off speed, just missed the outside part of the plate. Bases empty, 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning as that one again stays out, so a 2-0 count. And a good response here in the home half of the first inning from Michigan after South Carolina plated an early run. Lifted, but it'll get out of play.
And Kresbach, she said that if she could meet anyone, she'd want to meet Aldi Nord, owner of Trader Joe's, specifically so she can get free Trader Joe's Takis. And I love those chips, but that was one of the most specific answers, and I love it. I love how specific she was.
Takes a ball low there. Can we get the Aleppo pepper sauce back? I have been missing that desperately.
Yeah, Trader Joe's has some phenomenal items, but especially their seasonal ones, and they do that so we keep coming back. They're
well,
doing
listen,
it right.
it's working well. 3-1. Stays high. Second walk of the inning issued by Birchmore.
I think the hard thing for pitchers going against a potent offense like Michigan's is trying not to get hit. A lot of pitchers, when they know a team can hit the long ball, when they know they can hit it hard, they try and move the ball around the zone. And oftentimes when you move the ball, rather than trust that you can hit your spots, you kind of throw more balls. So if I'm Birchmore, I'm going to go right at these batters. Trust my defense to make plays. They've already made a couple plays this inning.
Called strike on the outside corner to Harper Lowe, just 13 years old. And this is a deep and talented team regardless of the age. This is not a rebuild, it's a reload for Grand Blanc. Leaves the off-speed high.
They lost 9 players last year, but you couldn't even notice based on the runs that they've put up. Their journey to get here, runs they put up last night, 11-1 win.
And last year's team is 7-0 throughout the tournament en route to the championship as Birchmore misses high. She's fallen behind 4 straight batters.
That's what I'm saying. Get ahead, trust your defense, let them hit the ball. Hit your spots, but let them hit the ball. Batters tend to get themselves out when they're eager to hit. And an offense like this, they are eager to hit. They all want to score some runs. So make them get themselves out by spotting the ball in the corners.
Another ball misses high. If you're West in this situation as a catcher, how are you trying to get out of this inning and really work with your pitcher?
Yeah, I'm going to set up in a position that I can still get the pitch for a strike, maybe flash my glove where I want the pitch to be thrown, just give her a lot of tools.
Lifted high. Tough play coming on. Catch made by Bot Knight. As Southeast out of the inning, but Michigan plates 2 to take the lead as we go to the second. Welcome back. South Carolina finding themselves trailing by 1 in the top of the second inning. They went 4-0 in regional play. They outscored their opponents 32-13. They are, though, able to win in close games. That championship game, it was a 1-0 victory. It was scoreless all the way until the final inning. And the team from Irmo, they found a way to win, and that is what manager Brian Jones told us that they are holding on to as they go through this tournament.
Yeah, your road to get here teaches you a lot. It bonds your team together. And when we asked his daughter, Stephanie Jones, who's on the staff, who's played in this position before, now first base coach for the team, she talked about how much this postseason, this run, has meant to the team. And being in the position now that she sees more, she's able to help from her vantage point of being a player to a coach. I really enjoy talking to her. She has a route to be a future coach, head coach, not just assistant, but head.
Absolutely. Earl Stevens Bot Night due up for South Carolina here in the top of the second inning. 1-1. Slapped foul down the third baseline. It was Earl that was involved in that late game win against Georgia. It's the first of 2 games for Southeast. Today they will play Central now and then turn around and play the Czech Republic. That game, the second of our triple header today.
Yeah, it's Czech Republic's first game, so 2 different paths in this tournament.
Off speed, tapped. Skips off the glove. Earl is going to reach. So for the second consecutive inning, South Carolina gets the leadoff runner on.
And their just aggression at the plate has worked in their advantage, putting pressure on the defense. Earl slapping the entire at-bat. Off speed, keeps her feet in the box, just taps it to the third baseman. When you got speed like Earl, you speed a defense up. You make them try and rush to get you out, and that's exactly what happened for third baseman Addie Taylor.
Lainey Stevens, they call her Lainey Bug. Getting ready to start the 11th grade shortly after the conclusion of this World Series.
One of the interesting parts about the Southeast team is they're from 8 different schools that have come together. So a lot of girls in other teams, they go to school together, they're bonded that way. No, South Carolina, they've had to bond throughout the season together. They don't go to all the same schools.
Well, they also get a fast pass to regionals. There aren't any other team in the states, and so, or the state of South Carolina, I should say. And so, you know, Brian Jones said, yeah, we've played fewer games than some of these other teams. It takes us a little bit longer sometimes to get going. That laced through the right side. Earl had to get a late jump. She's out. Heads up play by Allen to cut down the lead runner.
Yeah, and that's a tough play for Earl, the base runner. Because it's a line drive, she has to freeze. She wants to see it down, so off the bat, she's freezing right there. A little hesitation, but Allen, the right fielder, doing a great job of not rushing, getting the ball in. And then the stretch from shortstop Hannah Johnson, that's the cherry on top. Making that close play a little less close by stretching, getting on the opposite side of the bag.
Again, pulled towards the right side, a chance to roll two. They got the first, won't get the second. But the technical execution there on the turn from Johnson was top notch.
The way she flipped her hits. Golan doing a good job of rolling ground balls. Drop ball pitcher, that's going to happen. So defense has to have your back. Trotter fielding it normal and then flipping her hips. I think she could have had a double play if she went to tag the base runner Stevens rather than flip her hips. But either way, getting an out, lead runner. I'm asking a little bit of a lot, actually.
You are.
But that was a really good play.
So Wheeler had come out to the plate. And Brian Jones catching that just before South Carolina batted out of order. It is supposed to be Emma Grace Birchmore, who is the pitcher listed as the DP in the roster. You know my favorite thing about all of these surveys is the food. Chicken nuggets, love it.
Can't go wrong with chicken nuggets.
No, never.
Will hit every single time.
What are you a sauce person or a straight person?
Oh, I'm a sauce.
Sauce? What sauce?
Give me every sauce. Specifically Chick-fil-A. I get like 4 different sauces.
Well, now you sound like my husband.
And then I just dip them in every single flavor.
I'm a ketchup girl through and through. I grew up in Pittsburgh, so it's required. Oh, Birchmore getting a little instruction here down the line from manager Brian Jones as South Carolina took an early lead on a pair of hits in the first inning by Wheeler and Paget before Michigan responding with a pair of runs in their half of the inning.
This inning so far has been just a little unlucky for South Carolina. Started off with Earl slapping to get on. Lainey Stevens got a hit to right field, but because it was a line drive, froze her up. So I'm still loving the at-bats from South Carolina.
Lifted foul out of play. 0-2, and you're right, Stevens is a solid hit to the right side of the field, and just an unfortunate break for South Carolina, as the base running technique was correct, just sometimes it happens to break that way.
Yeah, and when you hit the ball hard, it gets to players faster, so it got to right field pretty quick, made it even tougher.
Scampering back in is Botnight as the pitch not so fast, that was off speed, stayed low and out. Golan settling in here in the second inning through 17 pitches in the first. Right back into the screen, and as I know you know, anytime a hitter does that, you know they are right on it.
They are right on it. And Birchmore, she pitches, so she might have in the back of her head right now that Golan might go to a changeup. When a batter fouls something straight off, you want to change their timing almost immediately, so you might expect Golan to go with an off-speed here.
Doesn't, stays low. So Riley, if you were sequencing this as a catcher, what would you be calling next?
I actually really like that decision by Golan to go fast. Because Birchmore's a pitcher, she's expecting potentially a change. So it's kind of that mind game. I like going too hard, maybe an off-speed now.
She does go off-speed, stuck with it, did Birchmore, gave it a ride, but right at Crespa, out in center field. No score in the top of the second inning. We head to the home half, it's 2-1.
Central, the catcher,
Well, welcome back. Michigan got their title defense started on a great note, hammering out runs in their opening win against the team from the West.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a home run party for Michigan. Started with Addie Freeman getting it going, and then Hannah Johnson wanted to join the party, as well as Ayanna Johnson finishing it out. Look at that beautiful lefty swing off the bat. She knew it. Points at it. Fire me up, Michigan. What a way to open up your tournament. Defending champs, you got a target on your back. What a way to start. Hitting some long balls to get it going.
You and I talked about it, the way that they came in ahead of the opening ceremonies. You could just feel the confidence oozing out of this team.
Yeah, when we talked to manager Zach Orr, as soon as the coaching staff sat down in front of us during our meetings, you had a feeling they didn't have to say much to show that they were feeling good about their team.
Ella Stevenson at the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning. 2-1 count. It'll be Stevenson, Taylor, and Trotter due up for Grand Blanc. Here's that one high, 3-1.
In that meeting, manager and coaches told us that Ella Stevenson works harder than anyone. In the box, behind the plate, has a great pop time, but she said she watched Little League growing up and plays to inspire others.
Swung on and missed there, full count, and that's the beautiful thing about this game, the beautiful thing about the expansion of the game and now having it on these platforms, the ability to inspire the next generation. There's so much more exposure, and we're seeing that in the explosion of Little League and in women's sports in general. First full count goes to a walk by Stevenson. Leadoff walk, third of the game.
Dorian, going back to what you just said, the explosion of women's sports, all of these players, their favorite athletes, well, most of them are female athletes, whether that's softball, soccer, volleyball, and maybe 10 years ago you wouldn't have seen as many role models as you are seeing now in the professional leagues, different leagues for women, the AUSL, WNBA. Little WNBA action with you, calling games for Washington Mystics.
Little WNBA action, that's right. Got a couple of Mystics games coming up later this week. Addie Taylor stepping to the plate now. Showed bunt, was a called strike as that rise ball stays out of the zone. First at bat of the tournament here for Taylor.
But she had some action yesterday. The winning pitcher, 7 Ks on her opening night.
That one stays just low, 2-1. I love the duality of pitchers. Back when I played, your pitcher pitched, and that was about it. But we have seen, again, these multi-sport athletes, multifaceted softball players, and it just makes a more well-rounded athlete.
Oh, definitely. When I think of an athlete that's doing both at a high level, Jordy Fromm from Nebraska. Also, Nigel Kennedy, she hit and pitched, and those are some of the top pitchers in the country, but also All-Americans. Jordy Fromm, All-American, are hitting as well, not just pitching.
Montana Fouts is Taylor's favorite softball player, a great pitcher to want to emulate.
And just won gold last night with Team USA in the International Cup.
Well, Birchmore hung that change up high. It was fouled off by Taylor. Said her favorite subject in school is yearbook with her dad as her teacher. I love that.
I was in yearbook, so I can attest to that.
Taylor again fouling it off down the right side. So back-to-back balls slicing to the right side of the field. What does that tell you about the pitch and the batting approach?
Yeah, it tells me she's a little bit late, but also with the 2-strike count, you are sometimes a little bit late, so you can have as much time as possible to identify the pitch. So I don't mind it in a 2-strike count, fouling things off till you get what you want.
2-2 leaves it upstairs, 3-2, so back-to-back full counts from Birchmore. The payoff. Just missed inside. So back-to-back walks, and now Michigan in business.
And that was a really close pitch. I really thought that was borderline. Great job by Addie Taylor using those eyes, becoming a base runner. I've been very impressed with Michigan's ability to be patient at the plate. When you score as many runs as Michigan has, starting even last year, 6 out of their 7 wins were run rule victories. And so now coming into this year, these players want to hit the ball, but the patience at the plate, taking their walks when given.
Got a pinch runner coming in for Grand Blanc. It's Mackenzie Jackson, the 15-year-old younger sister of Ayanna. And now Brian Johnson headed out to the mound. This is a conversation, Riley, I know that you've been part of, and this is a situation in which it feels tenuous for the South Carolina defense. You've got runners on second and first, nobody out, number 9 hitter up. This is really an opportunity for Michigan to roll that lineup over and make this a big inning.
Yeah, for South Carolina, the goal has to be get an out. You don't want to go to the top of the lineup with no outs and runners on base. So roll a ground ball, trust your defense. After the 2 walks, make them hit the ball, make your defense make some plays.
Elena Trotter was 1 for 1 in the game against Hawaii yesterday. They got the nightcap game. I guess that's right. Defending champions play under the lights.
Yeah, it's a different feel at night. It always feels, the game feels a little bit faster, a little more intense, a lot more fun. And then as an outfielder, you love not to have the sun to deal with.
Trotter, first pitch swinging! First pitch gone! A 3-run home run for Elena Trotter.
Elena Trotter said, I want to join this home run party for this team. From the very first pitch locked in. First pitch home runs, I gotta say, are some of my favorite. She was on time. As your last batter, you see every batter before you. Look at that rotation. Love that angle by our camera crew. That ball flew off her bat. You knew right off the bat the way it sounded, the way that it was a rising line drive. Coming from your 9 batter, 1 through 9, this team can hit.
That's exactly what Zach Orr told us during the pregame. He said, you know, we have dogs that are waiting to get their opportunity, and so it's depth on the bench. Our 9-hole hitter can be a number 3-hole hitter, and they just proved it right there.
Yeah, I love the conversation we had with him pregame, just talking about how he switches the lineup up almost every game, and the players are aware that even if you have a really good game, you might be on the bench the next one, and it's nothing about your play. It's about giving everyone opportunities. And I kind of asked him, how does the team feel about that? Because when you got dogs on the team, everyone wants to play every pitch, and he said it's just a mentality they've all bought into. And just really like to see each other have success.
Reagan Allen walked and scored in her first bat. 4th home run of the tournament already for Michigan. As that one stays up and out as well, so 2-0. Reagan saying the thing that she was looking forward to most about this tournament was just having this experience. And it's so special. When you're a team like Michigan where you go multiple times, it can be lost about just how unique getting here actually is. It's a called strike.
Yeah, you never want to take these experiences for granted, and I can say that Michigan is not doing that. The way that they're playing, it's like they're playing for something bigger than themselves, representing not only their community, but their state at this level.
Hammered back up the middle on the ground. It's going to get all the way to the warning track. Allen, no slowing down as she's into second base with a double.
An extra base hit once again for Michigan. She turned on the wheel straight out the box. I love that she went away with it, let it travel a little bit deeper in the zone, hitting it on the contact point inside of that front foot. That was a hard hit ball. Center fielder Rylan Earl got to it quick, but Allen was quicker getting to second base. Look at the leadoff batter, getting it going, keeping it going for her team.
5 of Michigan's 11 hits yesterday went for extra bases. They already have 3 in this game so far. Off speed, drops in for a called first strike.
And for Birchmore, that's kind of the sequence of pitches that you're going to need to throw. Starting off batters with changeups, throwing off their timing from the very first pitch. Obviously, Michigan has been hitting balls hard, so you're going to do anything you can to throw off their timing.
Big lead off a second base by Allen. She moves back towards the bag. 1-1. That one stays high. Jackson, one of a handful of players on this Michigan team that is going to play at the next level. He's committed to Wayne State collegiately.
Yeah, Kate Mitchell, Addie Taylor as well, going at Wayne State.
Right back our way.
We asked Zach Orr about 3 players committed to the same college. He also said these players have been playing together for plenty of years. So they must really, really like each other. They want to play at every single level. I think that's really cool. They got the bond, getting to go to school with girls you grew up with, get to do the full experience together.
Off speed, pulled foul. I like the decision there, though, by Birchmore to keep that ball low in particular.
Yeah, it's not only about changing speeds up, it's about when you change the speeds up, where the location is. Because you've seen Michigan do some damage on the changeup that's up belt high in the zone. And you see that one now, even if batter Jackson was able to put it in play, it was going to be a soft roller because it was located at the bottom of the zone.
50th pitch of the game for Birchmore. Hammered, Jackson. Ajax, another jack.
It's a home run for Ayanna Jackson.
Ayanna Jackson, her second home run of the tournament already. This swing was impressive because she went oppo taco. I love that she let this pitch travel deeper in the zone, letting it get really deep. Almost looks like she hits it off of that back leg, and then she stays through it, through extension. When she was rounding first, she already had pointed. She knew it was off. She knew it was out off of her bat.
Brian Jones out to the circle as Michigan has plated 5 runs here in the bottom of the second inning. Still nobody out, and getting into the meat of the order with Freeman, Johnson, and Crespaw due up. And you're really getting to see why Ayanna Jackson and Addie Freeman were both co-MVPs of the tournament a year ago.
Yeah, they've really proven themselves, but I think we're going to see a little bit of a pitching change from South Carolina, trying to shut down some of this momentum of Michigan's potent offense.
Brian Jones will turn to Kat Goff, the righty. He did tell us that they would pitch by committee today, given the fact that they play back-to-back games this afternoon.
Yeah, in a tournament like this, you got to have multiple arms, especially 2 games in one day.
Goff coming in, bases empty here in the bottom of the second inning.
And Goff is going to hit spots, spins the ball really well, and is able to adjust speed. Her key is going to be no walks. Her coaches told us that's when she's most effective. She doesn't give up the free pass much.
Goff did not see any action yesterday. It was just Sheely that went for 6 innings, followed by an inning of relief for Birchmore. So this is the 3rd pitcher on the roster for South Carolina. If you are Goff coming in this situation, knowing that you're facing the number 3 hitter, what's the goal? How do you start things off?
Yeah, you just got to get comfortable in the circle. You have to have that nothing to lose mentality. When you see the scoreboard, your team's got to back you up with quite a few runs. So sometimes that might be an easier situation to come into than a bases loaded, maybe really close ball game, because you can pitch more free. You're nothing to lose. 1 hit won't kill you.
Freeman grounded out to shortstop in her first plate appearance. Takes the ball high there, 2-0. Freeman will be staying home. She's committed to play at Western Michigan in college. What a great program in the MAC that is. Pulled foul.
I like the way that Goff is keeping this ball down, especially with a team that's proven they can hit the long ball. It's really hard to hit the long ball off a ball that's down in the zone, so you'll want to roll a lot of ground balls, make them roll over the ball.
Harder to lift it, also harder to create your own velocity off of someone who has a little bit less to give. As Freeman swings through that offering, 2-2.
And that was hard to tell from up here out of the hand that was going to be a change in speeds. So looking to see her continuing to use that and utilize that spot.
missed. Freeman retired for the second time today, first out of the inning.
Look at Goff coming in. Her first appearance of the tournament in the circle. I love the way that she went back to back on this off speed. Look at the flip, but look at the location below the knee. That is a difficult pitch to make contact with. That speed differential is going to be really tough for this Michigan team to adjust to.
Johnson ripped out to left field on a long line and snagged by Broughton.
When you see a batter in front of you strike out with some changeups, that's a good mentality as the next batter brought in to go after the first good pitch that you see. You don't want to put yourself in a position to have to fight off in a really good changeup.
McKenna Cresbaugh walked in her first plate appearance, was stranded at first in the first inning. This is the 8th batter here in the second inning for Michigan. Her regular season jersey number is 3. She's wearing 3 here in this tournament. She said she only likes to pick odd numbers, and 1 wasn't an option, so 3 was next, so that's what we went with.
You know, I grew up, I was number 3. It's a good number to have.
I was number 1. Cresbaugh over the head of the left fielder on a line. Cresbaugh turning for second and in with a 2-out stand-up double.
Cresbaugh attacking the first pitch that she sees over the heart of the plate. A great swing. Once again, Michigan using their rotational forces. That's how you hit the ball hard. So you got to start with that bottom half. Left fielder brought in, her first step was in line drives. That's a tough play to make. Your first step got to be back to be able to compete and make that play. But as an outfielder, I can't lie, one of my least favorite balls to catch was always line drives, because especially the ones that rise off the bat, they look like you want to come in and then they kind of just take off behind you.
There is a reason that I moved from center field to third base as I got older. Harper Lowe standing in, flew out to right field in her first plate appearance. Takes the first pitch in the dirt, skips away, and Cresbaugh scampers over to third. I love the honesty from Harper Lowe. What would you do if you won the lottery? Probably move to California and shop. I think it's a great plan.
Yeah, I'm right there with her. I'm a California native. Great weather.
I was gonna say, I was assume near the beach. I mean, I know we have a beach here. We're not that far away from Rehoboth Beach here in Delaware.
Yeah, if you're moving to California after you win the lottery, I can guarantee you're gonna find a nice beachfront property with that money.
5 runs in for Michigan here in the bottom of the second inning. Runner in scoring position, 2 away. Great job by West to keep that ball in front.
Yeah, West yesterday, she was impressive behind the plate, keeping a ton of balls in front. Multiple pickoffs, getting runners caught, helping her pitchers out. And right there, once again, saving a run on a ball in the dirt.
Yeah, West picked off a pair of base runners at third yesterday against Canada. 2-1.
And in games, when your pitchers are struggling to get outs, as a defense, you got to tell yourself, let's sneak a few for our pitcher. Let's get those pickoffs. Let's get the extra play. Any way to help your pitchers get out of innings.
The 3-1 from Goff. Stays high, low, draws a walk as Michigan bats around here in the second.
Once again, just that patience from this Michigan team. One player hits a long ball, base hits, and then the next batter doesn't try and do the same thing and potentially hit themselves into an out. They're patient, they take their walks. And that's what allows you to win championships, is patience and then aggressive at the right time, controlled aggression.
That's what, yeah, I mean, to your point, it's one of the things that this Michigan team does so well is Taylor lines it just foul down the left field line. They pass the bat so well.
Yeah, it almost feels like you don't have a break if you're the opposing team, because everyone's mentality 1 through 9 is patience, getting their pitch that they're looking for in that at-bat.
Smiley emoji is the favorite of Addie Taylor, and there's a lot to smile about so far for Grand Blanc here in the second game of the tournament. The 1-1. Taylor put in play. It's off of the third baseman. She will reach. The inning continues as another run comes in.
That was good effort by Lewis at third. That was a hard hit ball off the bat of Taylor. Pitch on the middle part of the plate. And Lewis trying to get the whole body in front of it. Not just to flex off her body. But keeping that somewhat in front saves a run from continuing, or a base runner from continuing to move up, potentially trying to get home. Because when a ball ricochets off, and the left fielder, Broughton's playing pretty deep out there, so you never know what could have happened if the ball went directly past. So I like that Lewis got her body to block some of that ball up.
I can tell you as a former third baseman, keeping that ball even, to your point, remotely close to you, because with the pace with which that ball was hit, if it gets past you down the line, that's going for extra bases. And with the aggressiveness that Michigan runs the bases, it would not surprise me to see them try to go first to home, as we have a pinch runner coming in now. It'll be Sammy Wright.
We have a substitution. Number 8, Sammy Wright, in for number 2, Ella Stevenson, now running at first base.
So Zach Orr getting into his bench, getting players meaningful reps as they expect to go deep into this tournament for the second consecutive year. Ball high. Taylor walked and scored on the 3-run homer by Elena Trotter that broke the inning open. Lifted just over the backstop and foul. Your South Carolina, now you do have the force at third option. You can always go to first, just 1 out to get out of this inning.
Yeah, that always helps you. A good force out. So if you're on the left side of the field, if it takes you towards third base, just go for the easier out.
Dropped it in for a called strike at the top of the zone. 1-2.
And a little bit of the off speed, the flip change. Now with 2 strikes, Goff can locate that even further down in the zone. It's going to be even more effective than that pitch.
Tapped foul as Taylor stays alive.
I want Goff to continue to work in that off speed, because Taylor's just a little bit out in front. You can tell on that foul ball, she hit off the end of her bat. Foul.
Goff coming in relief of Emma Grace Birchmore, trying to get out of the bottom of the second inning. 1-2. Up and out.
And I said this when Emma Grace Birchmore was in the circle. Even though the rise ball on the top of the zone, batters aren't swinging at it, it definitely changes the levels that the batter is looking for, and the speed and direction of the ball feels like different velocities.
High and deep, another 3-run homer finds its way out of the field. This one off of the bat of Addie Taylor.
Taylor, last night, 7 Ks in the circle. Today, she's in the bottom part of this lineup. Wants to join this home run party that Michigan is putting on. But the adjustment from the changeup to this one, getting a pitch up in the zone. Her front foot, she got it down a little bit later, and that made her perfect timing, going straight away center field. And a little scuba dance going into home plate. It's one of my favorite parts of Little League, is watching their TikTok dances and then them doing their celebrations on the field. Pre-game, Dorian, we saw a lot of TikTok happening.
We had Team Canada filming on one side. Michigan was filming over here. What I really need is someone to teach me how to TikTok. That is how I know I've reached the age where I am old. As Trotter puts that in place, short hop. She will reach as that scoots past Paget.
And that's a tough play for Paget because of the spin, a little floating line drive, soft hit off the end of the bat. She did the right thing. She charged it. I think the right move would have been to take it kind of on the run, pick it like a short hop, but that's always a tough play to read it, and then once you've read it, to field it correctly.
First pitch swinging, Allen lifts it. Underneath is Wheeler. Michigan breaking it wide open. They send 13 batters to the plate, a pair of 3-run home runs as they lead it 11-1 as we go to the third. Want to see some girls with game? Tune in to yet another exciting summer of softball and visit littleleaguesoftball.org for great content, information about starting a softball league, and more. Oh, there's a reason there is an alien on the fence for this team from South Carolina. That is their acronym for this season. They always pick one, and this year they like to apply it to movies as well, but it's an alien based off of the new Toy Story.
Yeah, and the alien, the A stands for aggressive, the L stands for locked in, the I stands for integral, E encouraging in the next play, and S stands for my favorite, Southeast champs. And I love that they've carried this tradition on, and it's always a movie that's relevant to that season. So previously they've done How to Train Your Dragons, Indiana Jones, when those movies were coming out. But I love that they also have the mascot for the alien in the dugout like we just showed you. It's always nice to have a theme, and they try and move it or change the theme depending on what that team wants to strive for. So these words have meaning specifically to this team. I like the Southeast champions, but I also like the next play, because in softball, everyone makes mistakes, but it's the bounce back that matters most. Let's see if Southeast can bounce back after that tough inning previously, maybe scratch a few runs across the board.
Top of the order for Southeast here in the home, or the top half of the third. Wheeler, Broughton, Paget. A couple of defensive changes for Michigan. Addie Freeman moving to short as Wheeler flares that foul down the right field line. And out into the outfield, into left field, it's Kate Mitchell. There's a look at Freeman moving to short. Caught yesterday, so Freeman versatile around the infield. Another flare down the right field line. Allen giving chase, but could not get there.
Manager Zach Orr, he says that he changes the lineup quite often, whether that's the batting lineup or it's a new left fielder like Kate Mitchell there. Players can play a ton of different positions. That's a coach's dream, that you can move just about anywhere, anyone anywhere in the lineup and anywhere on the field.
Wheeler, chopper up the middle, gloved by Trotter. She won't be able to get it over to first, but how about the ability just to keep that on the infield?
Yeah, even though it wasn't an out, that's a phenomenal play that hypes your pitcher up. Great swing by Wheeler to stay through it up the middle, but a great play, a great stop. You never know when the ball gets to the outfield, if it hits a lip, takes a bad bounce, runners can move up. So keeping that infield keeps the runner put at first.
South Carolina has had the leadoff batter on in all 3 innings. Wheeler now 2 for 2, doubled and scored back in the first inning.
Wheeler has impressed me a ton in this tournament. Her at-bats, that's what a leadoff batter you want out of them, to get on base. But I think she's leading by example. The at-bats she's having, the aggression in the box. And sometimes you underestimate how hard it is to be the first batter of the game. You are the one testing out the pitcher, seeing what pitches she has in her arsenal.
Swinging strike to Broughton, who grounded out to second in her first at bat, ended up moving Wheeler to third. Wheeler, one of the players that the coaching staff noted, has a very high base running IQ. One of the reasons why she's hitting in that #1 spot is Broughton found that one straight back 2-2 now.
We talk about players that can do multiple things, playing multiple sports. We haven't mentioned it. Wheeler, a black belt in karate, has competed in tournaments. So she's on first base right now, got good speed, but got good skill in karate as well.
Good eye from Broughton to leave it low, full count. And that's what you want if you're South Carolina. Work counts, give yourself opportunities. You're not going to be able to get all 10 runs back in one go, but you have to start to find ways to chip away. Broughton through the 5-6 hole as South Carolina goes station to station.
And Dorian, you just mentioned it, finding ways to chip away. And that's at bat to at bat. A great job being on time, was late earlier in her at bat, gets that front foot down when the ball's 10 feet out in front of her. A really good job of making an in at bat adjustment, and that's what Southeast's game plan should be. Try and make adjustments so you can chip away, scratch a few runs across each inning, and you're in this ball game.
First pitch, ball high to Savannah Paget, the shortstop. Single with an RBI back in the first inning. She brought in the lone run for South Carolina. Drilled out into the left center field gap. That's going to get 1 run home. Broughton going to be waved around. Aggressive base running. 2 runs come in to score. Paget, 3 RBI afternoon.
Paget, have yourself a day. Rather that 2 days. One of the 2 hits yesterday. Then the 3-hole hitter coming up clutch, staying palm up, palm down at contact. That's how you hit line drives, but gap hitting, keeping your front shoulder closed. The speed around the bases brought in the trail runner. The ball was being picked up in center field, and she was already rounding third. I thought maybe there was a chance for a play at home. No way with Broughton's speed. Now Paget's at second. I just mentioned it. Scratch a few runs across each inning. You're back in a ball game. And Southeast, I love their chipping away mentality right now, the pass the bat mentality. Not trying to do it with big swings, but just base to base hitting.
First pitch swinging is Sheely down the third base line. Great glove work over at first by Jackson to dig it out.
That was a good play by Addie Taylor at third. Using her eyes. After this ground ball, she's having her feet move towards first base, but her eyes are watching the base runner Paget at second. And then the glove work, the good defense. Ayanna Jackson at first. Sometimes first basemen and what they're able to do, make plays at first, get some good picks, stay low. It's kind of just a given for most first basemen, and they don't get as much credit as I think that they deserve.
Lewis standing in, lined out. Sky to deep right field. That ball tracking back. Allen there. Tag is made by Paget as she slides into third. Ball kicks away, but Paget is going to stay put.
That ball continued to carry off the bat of Lewis. Thought Reagan Allen did a good job, kind of not panicking when the ball continued to carry, just keeping her feet moving. Good pitch by Golan on the outside corner. And watch right fielder Allen continue to go back, adjusting her body for this ball. We can feel the wind a little bit here in the booth. And so when that ball is hit pretty high like that was off the bat of Lewis, outfielders have to continue to move their feet, not stand still.
Rylan Earl, soft slap back through the middle. It's going to get down as Southeast scores another run. This team from Irmo not going down without a fight.
Rylan Earl, she had a slap to get on base earlier. Going back to the slap this time, not even a full swing, going to a hard slap, staying on this inside pitch, going up the middle. And the base running from Paget in the pitch before, tagging up on that ball to right field, that allows her to score on the ball.
First pitch strike to Lainey Stevens, who grounded into a fielder's choice in her first at bat. 4 hits in the inning for South Carolina as they have leveled with Michigan. 6 hits apiece here, top of the third. Ball just a little bit too far inside, but I like the decision there by Golan to try and go 1 ball further in.
Yeah, using that river. When we talked to manager Zach Orr, he said that that's their goal as pitchers, to try and stretch the zone, see if they can get it.
Missed outside 2-1.
How about this fight from South Carolina? They're no strangers to having a fight. You mentioned it earlier. They are down by 3 runs. In the bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. Savannah Pageant got that 3-run home run, delivered again today, keeping their team in the ball game. When the run rule is potentially in effect, teams can either crumble or step up to the challenge, and South Carolina is stepping up to the challenge.
And it was Lainey Stevens that had the go-ahead home run in that first game against Tennessee. Lifted them to a 9-7 victory. Did not call a strike there. That one very close, but instead the count 3-2.
That pitch from Golan, I thought that had a little pop on it too. That was a really good spot. If I'm her, even though it wasn't called a strike, I'm gonna stay on that inside corner, entice batters to swing at it.
Full count, 2 out, runner will be on the move. Stevens swung on and missed. Golan sits down Stevens with the strikeout, but South Carolina gets 3 back, but it's still an 11-4 lead for Michigan. South Carolina fans traveling well. They saw their team plate 3 in the top of the 3rd inning. A Little League is the most trusted youth sports organization in the world, keeping baseball and softball accessible for all kids. But its real power comes from you. Help us rally for Little League by texting RALLY to 345-345 today. Standard text messaging rates apply. Michigan coming to bat in the home half of the 3rd inning. They put up a crooked number in the bottom of the 2nd as they touched up Emma Birchmore, getting into the rotation. Kat Goff back out for her 2nd inning of work, as Michigan already with 5 extra base hits in the game to this point.
Southeast, they did a really good job of putting up some runs, but it's a tough task to be able to shut this Michigan lineup down. They're as potent as it comes, multiple home runs.
2 of those extra base hits belong to Ayanna Jackson. Look at how deep the outfield's playing, so she drops a bunt. Jackson gonna be safe at first. How about the IQ at the dish?
Hits a home run, previous at bat, drops down the bunt. I love being able to identify both corners are playing back. Only results in Goff, the pitcher, going after this ball. No shot at first base. Really good job to identify where the defense is at. That's a high softball IQ. When you can swing for the fences, but then clutch enough to drop down a bunt.
roped down the left field line. It gets down for Freeman. Back-to-back singles. Just underneath the tag is Jackson.
It looked like a little bit of hesitation from both the base runner and the batter. Great job. The batter getting her back knee below the ball. But then the round by Jackson. Didn't think that Southeast was going to continue the relay. To my bare eye, I definitely thought she was out. So you wonder if manager Brian Jones is going to try and challenge this, having a conversation with the umpire.
Well, Brian Jones did go out to talk to the second base umpire. Is headed back, has not indicated to this point that he would like to challenge. Home plate umpire coming out to the circle as Jones heads back towards the dugout. It does not look like we will have a manager's challenge, which would mean the call would stand Jackson safe at second.
Now batting for Central,
As Freeman on with a single.
Mitchell.
So 2 on, no away for Michigan here in the bottom of the third inning. They sent 13 batters to the plate in the home half of the second. Pair of lineouts for Hannah Johnson in this game, but rather it's going to be the defensive substitution, Kate Mitchell, who came on in left field batting in place of Hannah Johnson. Mitchell pulling it foul. Mitchell coming in to play left field in the top half of the third inning. Good job by Mitchell to hang tough, as she was well out in front of that.
Yeah, I love that Kat Goff is staying low in the zone. And a couple defensive replacements behind Goff, especially new catcher Lewis. She was the third baseman, now behind the plate, so changing things up.
Savannah Paget moving over to third base as well. Kate Sheely in at second, as we got some movement around the infield.
Wheeler, the second baseman, now at shortstop. So just giving a different look for the defense, shifting things over.
Stays high and away. Everyone shifted one position to their left with the exception of Lainey Stevens over at first.
And how fun is that as a defense, that you can all just move on over? You don't have to do anything super crazy, just rotate. It almost feels like at practice when you're growing up and your coach just tells you, move over, everyone one, get a different feel.
2-2. Again, pulled foul down the left field line as Goff working in a steady diet of off speed.
And that's what you have to do against an offense as good as Michigan's, is work the off speed as much as possible, even if that means every other pitch consistently try and affect a batter's timing.
Kate Mitchell's favorite player, someone you know well, Carlin Pickens. 2-2 stays up. Full count now as the throw behind the runner. Southeast got her.
And look at the defensive changes.
Well, it looked like the tag was applied. And here comes Brian Jones.
Yeah, I started to talk about the out that I thought I saw with my bare eye there at third base. Let's take a look at it. Starts with Lewis behind the plate making a good decision, trying to go for the pickoff. Then Kate Sheely going over to the new third baseman, Savannah Paget. It looks like it was a potential obstruction call, which it's always a judgment call when it comes to obstruction. I know softball fans that are watching cringe at the thought of obstruction calls. I know as a player I cringe at the thought of obstruction calls because they can go either way. The rule of thumb is where the player sets up. Is she already blocking in the base path, or is she set up giving the runner a lane? From our angle here, closer to home plate, it's hard to tell if there was a lane. Let's take a look at it again. So we're watching Savannah Paget, the third baseman. Where is she set up when receiving the ball? Does look like she potentially gave a lane on the back of the bag, but once you have the ball in your possession, you can move into the baseline and get an out. So because the ball beat the base runner, Jackson, you do wonder if that's why it could go in Southeast's favor.
Well, all four umpires getting together to discuss the call, and as a former third baseman, this is a play that I have experienced many, many a time, and you do have to give the lane to the runner. There has to be an avenue to a bag, and that's not specific to third base. That's any base to which you are going. And it is difficult because as the runner is moving towards the left, Paget wanting to go out to the left to make a tag.
That's as tough as it gets, because if you're Paget third baseman, you have to go into the line to get the ball. No third baseman is just going to let the ball go. But like I mentioned, a judgment call for the umpires. That angle did show she went into the baseline. She kind of blocked a lane for the base runner. But it's always a tough play. You want to go grab the ball.
Well, Brian Jones still having an extended conversation with the second base umpire regarding the decision. And it looks like the result will stand. So what looked like a tremendous defensive play for South Carolina, which we've seen them do time and time again, is going to result in runners on second and third for Michigan. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. Full count to the batter. Tipped, caught, strike three.
And Dorian, I wanted to talk about the defensive replacements a little bit more on that previous play when we talked about that obstruction, especially Lewis behind the plate. Now she's able to catch a foul tip. That's a tough play. Keeping your eye on the ball as a batter is swinging through it. So Southeast showing off that they can change positions, still get things done. Great pitch by Kat Goff, staying low in the zone.
Second strikeout of the day recorded by Goff, and a first pitch strike delivered here to McKenna Kresbaugh. One thing you can say about this team from South Carolina is they are not fazed by the moment or Michigan whatsoever. Beautiful drop ball, 0-2.
Yeah, you don't see any hesitation or fear from the Southeast team. And oftentimes when players are hitting the long ball, pitchers specifically, you kind of see it, them trying to dance around the zone. And I think Kat Goff has done a tremendous job coming into this game and attacking the strike zone.
Kresbaugh leaves it high. Kresbaugh, another multi-sport athlete, golfs for her high school team.
Her coaches said she's a silent weapon with the bat. And I don't know how silent you have to be in this lineup.
Little flare's gonna stay on the infield. Sheely calling for it, 2 away.
It's a good bounce back from Goff. First two runners get on base, you get a strikeout, previous batter, and now you get a pop up. And that's as good as it gets with runners on second and third, not letting them put a ball in play that they can score on, utilizing your defense as well.
Caitlin Brennan getting the call, headed to the dish, another pinch hitter for Grand Blanc. First pitch called strike.
Caitlin Brennan likes to play anytime, anywhere. She's utilizing that mantra. Anytime, gets called in to pinch hit. A good moment, 2 outs, 2 runners on.
And 0 for 2 yesterday. Comebacker to the mound. Goff gloves it over to first as she works out of a jam, strands a pair of runners on second and third as we head to the top of the 4th. Welcome back. South Carolina up to bat in the top of the fourth inning, still trailing 11-4, but they plated 3 their last time up. And Riley, that really speaks to the fight and the belief and the confidence that manager Brian Jones says this team has regardless of what's on the scoreboard.
Yeah, throughout their run, they were dealt some challenging cards, being down late in games, coming back in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. There is no lack of fight from this team. I've really enjoyed how they're playing, scratching across that last inning. First 2 runners on base, stranded them. That's a great way to have momentum going into your at-bats.
First pitch driven foul down the right field line. Harper Sherrard, the pinch hitter here for South Carolina. Oh. Took that one off of the helmet, hit by pitch. And so now the leadoff runner on in every inning for South Carolina.
And you can hear it from up here. It deflected off the helmet and the bat. A good job by Sherrard to turn her back so it gets the side of her helmet, not her face mask. Any runner on is exactly what South Carolina wants. And like you just said, they've gotten base runner, the first base runner on the last few innings.
Charity West stepping into the DP spot for Emma Grace Birchmore. West has been catching in the game, so not a new entry. Favorite food, crab legs. This is the place. South Carolina is a great place, but especially up in this area as well. Get you some good crab legs. First pitch ball. That one stays low and in. Defensive changes once again for Michigan. Allison Rather into play third base. And Mackenzie Jackson staying in the game. She's out in right field. West took a good hack at that.
Now when it goes straight back like that, it tells you that you are on time. Now for West, it's a matter of being on time with the potential changeup by Golan in the circle. Usually pitchers, when they get that foul ball, they try and go right to something that's slower.
Snap throw back down to first. Sherrard back in time. West takes the ball low. So hit by pitch and a walk to start things off for South Carolina here in the top of the fourth inning. And it looks like we're going to get another substitution as Zach Orr comes out to talk to the home plate umpire.
And it looks like Addie Taylor had a home run earlier, 7 Ks yesterday. And I think this is a good decision because you can really start to feel the momentum shift towards South Carolina's side. They stranded 2 runners last inning. They've gotten the first batter on base the previous couple innings. So pitching changes are not always about hit after hit against a pitcher. It's sometimes just to change the momentum. So I like this change by Zach Orr, Michigan's head coach.
New pitcher coming on for Michigan. We'll step away and be right back with more here at the Senior League Softball World Series.
Special pinch runner.
Welcome back to Lions Field. Changes coming for Michigan. They send Addie Taylor to the circle here in the top of the 4th inning as South Carolina threatening with 2 runners on, no away.
And Addie Taylor, she's going to call her own game, manager Zach Orr told us. So very confident in her stuff, has a nasty change, a rise, a screw, can go all parts of the zone.
The first batter that she will face is the top of the order in Mindy Wheeler.
What better place for South Carolina to be in than Mindy Wheeler up at the plate. Your bottom 2, 8 and 9 getting on base. Wheeler's been outstanding throughout this tournament.
Wheeler 2 for 2 today. Foul tips that right back into the glove. A double in the first, singled in the third. Wheeler has scored both times that she's been on base today. Brianna Boyle also into pinch run for South Carolina. She's over at first base. The 1-1 from Taylor. Off speed, slow roller to short to third as Michigan erases the lead runner.
That was a good job by Michigan to turn this.
Batter is number 8.
Third
Addie
base, great
Rosen.
foot positioning by Freeman at shortstop, flipping her hips, going to third.
That's Kate Mitchell, who was playing in left field, has now moved to third base as Golan, the starting pitcher, out in left field, and a first pitch strike on the outside corner to Addie Broughton. Broughton 1 for 2 today, singled and scored back in the 3rd inning, grounded out in her first plate appearance. Lifted, foul down the right field line. You can hear the wind picking up here at Lions Field. It's windier than it was yesterday evening. Very hot, muggy, heavy air. It's been blowing around a little bit more here, about 82 degrees in Frankfort, Delaware.
Yeah, Jordan, I can't lie, this weather is perfect softball weather. I think for outfielders, sometimes not your favorite when it's windy because the ball can kind of tail different ways. So for outfielders, keeping their feet moving is really essential at this part of the game. If it's high pop-up, keep them moving, don't be stagnant.
See, I'm thinking perfect beach weather. 0-2, Broughton, hard hit. Flip to second, over to first, not in time, but again, Michigan's defense has come to play. It's been a no-go zone up the middle.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of getting lead runners. This ball was hit extremely hard. Great swing by Pageant, but the way that Trotter, the second baseman, moves her feet, does a backhanded flip to the shortstop, Addie Freeman. There was a chance because of how hard it was hit for a double play. Michigan's playing these balls right.
It's the 4th time in this game that Michigan has been able to go after the lead runner, and the 3rd time it has been second to short. So that connection very strong defensively. Savannah Pageant has been a thorn in the side of Michigan. 2 for 2, singled and drove in a run in the first, doubled and scored in the 3rd. She's responsible for all 4 of South Carolina's runs. Off speed, stays high.
When Addie Taylor came in the game, we talked about her 7Ks yesterday, her change-up, her screw, but manager Zach Orr said, watch out for the curve, and you've already seen that, her staying on the outside corner to these right-handed batters, really spinning it there, not just throwing it, but spinning it to her location.
We have an illegal pitch. That was called by the 3rd base umpire.
And he didn't really explain or really show us, so not sure what the illegal pitch was on. Let's take a look at it. From that angle, it's hard for me to tell. Maybe her front foot stepped off the mound. That's the only thing I can think of.
No argument from Zach Orr. 3-0 count anyway. Shows bunt, pulls back, and a called strike.
You kind of wonder if Addie Taylor knew what she just did and maybe Zach Orr, because there was no question to the umpire about what to fix. Kind of just a head nod and moving right along.
The 3-1, Pageant back up the middle. It's a 3-hit day for Pageant. Another run comes home for South Carolina. Have yourself a day, Savannah.
Southeast, they are just chipping away at this lead. I love this swing. Look at how low her back knee gets below this ball. A down ball in the outside corner. She stays through it just enough to poke it up the middle. We said it earlier, this middle infield for Michigan has been doing a really good job. So the hard hit by Paget to sneak it through, get an RBI for her team.
4 RBIs for Paget. Does have the run scored as well as Kate Sheely steps to the plate. Takes a called strike with the off speed. And Sheely in her player questionnaire said the people that she looks up to the most are the women in her life, her mom, her aunts, her grandmothers, and Sheely herself being a great example for other young girls to look up to. 1-1.
I love the shout outs too. Who inspires these players? You see a lot of parents. But like you said, Sheely shouting out the moms. They do so much. The women in all of our lives. Backbones to a lot of families.
Indeed. 1-1. Belted high. It's going to hang up in the air. Underneath it is Cresbaugh to make the final out. South Carolina gets one more. They're within 6 as Michigan comes to the plate in the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back. This team from Grand Blanc, Michigan, they are the defending champions. What a run they had a year ago. A 7-0 through the tournament, and they capped it with a run rule victory over Delaware in last year's championship. It was 10-0, 3-run home run from Addie Freeman, and they just absolutely routed every single team, and they have brought it back. And next year, they had 5 shutouts en route to the championship. 82-5 is the way they outscored opponents a year ago.
Yeah, they're picking up where they left off, scoring a ton of runs. Southeast doing a good job of keeping this one close.
A ball high and deep. It's gone!
That's a home run.
4th home run of the game for Michigan.
Michigan not letting up. Ella Stevenson, her turn to get a long ball. Did a great job of just attacking the first pitch. The first pitch that you get, usually one of the better ones you do. This is a tight inside. She's able to sneak her hand, stay inside of the ball, drive it to left center field. I love the aggression from this Michigan team, especially coming after Southeast is able to scratch a run across. That's a way to shut down the momentum of another team. They score a run, you score a run right back.
Through the first 2 games of this tournament, and this game not even finished yet, Michigan has plated 23 runs. First pitch strike taken by Addie Taylor. Now, Zach Orr's dad, Tom, won back-to-back Senior League Softball World Series in 2023-2024, one of just 3 coaches with multiple Senior League World Series championships, as Taylor chops that over to short. Paget gloves it to first in time for out number 1.
And when we talked to Zach Orr before the game kind of about those historic statistics, he knew exactly how many coaches each won. So you know in the back of his mind, he's trying to compete with his own dad, get that back-to-back, and get it done.
It also just speaks to how difficult it is to go back-to-back in a tournament like this when you have such deep, talented teams coming from all across the world to compete. Only one can be crowned a champion. Another high, deep drive. A 2-home run day for Elena Trotter as Michigan pours it on.
That's a home run for number 9, Elena Trotter.
Elena Trotter trotting around the bases for her second time. This swing off of a changeup, just a beauty. Key to hitting a changeup hard, once you get that front foot down, it's keeping your hands back longer. That was actually a really good location by Goff, the pitcher down in the zone. Goff gets that back knee below it, just stays on the ball. It sounded different off the bat. You knew it was going to be a deep ball. Easily got out of here.
Turns the lineup over, but 7 through 9 batters we're going to have Mackenzie Jackson in for Reagan Allen. She was a defensive substitution in right field, but 7 through 9 in the order for Michigan. 4 home runs with 7 runs scored. So Jackson standing in place of Reagan Allen. Allen had been on base twice, scored twice. But again, Zach Orr very comfortable getting into his bench. There's no drop off. He told us this is a deep, not just 1 through 9, but 1 through 15 in this roster.
How fun is that? You can count on anyone off your bench. He often rotates every game who the starters are. It's not ever based on their performance. The team knows that whether you go 2 for 2, 0 for 2, you're probably going to be changed out no matter what. And they really have confidence in everyone on their team. And the girls understand that that's kind of the mentality. You have to be really excited, or they are really excited for each other's success.
You say how exciting. I think as an opponent, how terrifying. Kenzie Jackson, younger sister of Ayanna Jackson. They call her Little Jax. Topped to first, gonna be a tough play, and Jackson beats it out.
I have written down on my score sheet, Mackenzie Jackson is a jet on the bases, and she's just showing it off here with the slap, a little soft slap, pulls it, sees first baseman Stevens playing back, takes advantage. And look at the speed. Look at the kind of the lunge at the end, like a track star breaking the tape, hitting the front part of the bag.
Older sister Ayanna just a triple shy of the cycle, as doubled and scored in the first, hit a home run in the second, and singled on a bunt single down the third base line in her last plate appearance.
Out of all the hits that she's had, I really like the bunt, just being smart, reading the defense. The corners are back once again. You wonder if she's going to try and beat them in front.
Well, a long, deep drive. That one's off the fence. Jackson going to be held up at second base, so a double for Ayanna. And you see the reaction there. She wanted the cycle. She knew what was at stake.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, honestly, that Zach Orr didn't send her. Look at this swing. She does such a good job of letting the outside pitch travel. Actually, that was more middle and still letting it travel to left center off the bat. You almost thought that was going to be another home run, but like you said, short of the cycle, just needed a triple. Those are some things that sometimes you have in the back of your mind as a player. She's probably telling her younger sister, go! Even if you get out at home, I want my triple.
That's that sibling rivalry. You can talk about it later. Brings Addie Freeman to the plate. Freeman 1 for 3, a ground out, a strikeout, did single in her last at bat in the third inning. Lifted down the left field line. Great snag by Broughton in left field. Strong throw to the plate. Not going to get Jackson as Ayanna Jackson hung up the third. In time! Double play turned by South Carolina. A defensive gem to get out of the inning, but not before Michigan plates 2 more on a pair of home runs. Welcome back. It's a 9-run lead for Grand Blanc, Michigan, and Addie Taylor back in the circle for a second inning of work. Here's the last play defensively for South Carolina.
Yeah, a great job by the left fielder to get this ball in. Then Lewis behind the plate, able to run at base runner Jackson. And then kind of almost saw this play earlier in the game. But this time, Southeast gets the out.
Nearly identical. The last time it happened, Padgett was called for interference. Home plate umpire checking on the swing. Aaliyah Lewis did not go. Lewis, Earl, Stevens due up here in the top of the 5th inning. And South Carolina has showed a lot of fight in this game after falling behind.
I really have enjoyed watching their fight. There's one thing yesterday to have a loss like they did in your opening day, and then to have to come back next day playing the defending champs could easily bring your morale down, and you don't see that at all from South Carolina. They have been up in the dugout. They've constantly been fighting in their at-bats as well as on defense.
South Carolina trailing 11-1 after the second inning. They've scored in each of the last 2. Lewis slices it down the right field line, but foul. Lewis says her favorite athlete was Kobe Bryant.
And being from California, close to LA, grew up a Lakers fan. So I'm right there with her with Kobe Bryant.
Got to have that Mamba mentality.
She has, switching around on the defense side.
And battling here at the plate, another foul ball for Lewis.
I'm gonna have to have a conversation with Zach Orr and his defensive switches. I'm running out of space on my card for how many players he's able to rotate on this defense. Trotter now at third, Jackson at second base after Trotter's home run.
Serves us right for doing the book and pen. Mitchell over to first base. So again, just rotations around the infield. But again, I love this for the players because so often players at the high school level or travel ball get locked into a position that may not be your position when you go, if you play collegiately. You're going to be asked to do things that you're not familiar with.
100% happened to me when I was going to college. Came in one position, played 3 other during my career.
What was your favorite one as Lewis draws the leadoff walk?
You know, I ended my career final 2 years in left field, but I started as a catcher, played a little second base, played right field as well. The outfield is fun, but it's also a little bit of pressure because you have kind of 1, maybe 2 plays that really, really count throughout the game. So you want to have your best plays when it matters most, but catching's always fun because you're a part of every single play.
Yeah, so 3 defensive changes in the inning for Michigan. Again, as we mentioned, around the infield, shifting positions. First pitch ball to Rylan Earl, who has reached both times today, reached on an error in the second and then singled in the third.
The defensive switches is a coach's dream, but a scorekeeper's nightmare, let me tell you, because we have a lot of scribbles on our cards, switching people in and out.
1-1 to Earl. And notice I didn't even try to color code my book in this game. Not worth it. Stays high and away. Throw back to first. Throw was in time, but the tag just a bit high allowed Lewis to sneak in.
Stevenson behind the plate. That was really quick. Throw beat the runner. The tag there on Mitchell was a swipe tag. If she went straight down to the hand of base runner Lewis, I think that's an out. But I love when catchers try and sneak in those outs, keep the base runners on their toes. Sometimes it makes base runners afraid to take that next bag.
Earl lifts it, foul, out of play.
And Earl's had some of the best at-bats for Southwest. Haven't been those big hits. Her first one got on base by a deflection, second one up the middle, but she's battled through the at-bat. She's seen a ton of pitches, doing exactly what slappers do, working the count till she gets what she wants to be able to place it in the right spot.
Rylan says her favorite softball player, Whitney Wiles, her high school coach.
Shout out her high school coach. I know she's smiling big on the other side.
Earl out in front of the off-speed, a strikeout for Taylor.
And I love the nod after that pitch from Addie Taylor in the circle. Look at this off-speed, has Earl the slapper way out in front. Addie Taylor has some good velocity on her pitches, able to spin it well. But that changeup is just filthy. Extremely hard for a slapper who's moving their feet through the box to identify it with their eyes, slow their feet down.
First strikeout recorded by Addie Taylor. Lainey Stevens stepping in. Reached on a fielder's choice and struck out in her last at bat. Is that a ball low in the dirt? Quickly back to the bag is Lewis.
And a good job by Stevens, laying off of 2 different speeds. The curveball of Addie Taylor, it's a pitch that our coaches told us to watch out for because it's just that good. She's spotting it low and bringing it up, and Addie Taylor took the low as well as the off speed.
Good eye from Stevens. Taylor really trying to work in the low part of the zone in South Carolina, not biting.
I really like this approach, especially when you're down quite a few runs. You got to get some pitches that you can drive, especially you're down to your last couple innings.
Jones and Stevens getting in sync on the signals, using that full matrix. Let me tell you, we didn't have that when I played. It was keep it simple. We're going over the face, touching different parts, your eyes, your ears, your nose. And if you didn't get it, just roll them again.
Yeah, I kind of grew up in the era where we transitioned from the face signals to the armband, and it was a blessing, let me tell you, because we didn't have to worry about an indicator or any of that craziness.
Strike on the outside corner. I forgot about the indicator, which is really terrible to forget after all these years.
And then the indicator would change, and then you'd be in the box trying to figure out what sign you just got. Do I call time?
Back in the Stone Ages.
These girls would know nothing about it.
The 3-1. Stevens out in front of the off-speed snap throw to first. Lewis back to the bag, but a full count on Stevens.
Stevenson behind the plate. She wants a pickoff. She's thrown down about 4 or 5 times in this inning.
The payoff from Taylor. Strike 3, runner up.
What a pitch by Addie Taylor, coming back from 3-0 in that at-bat.
Number 13, Harper
She did it with an
Sherrod.
off-speed. She did it with 2 curveballs. Look at this curveball at the knees. Ella Stevenson behind the plate did a great job of working under and through it to get it for the called third.
Second at bat for Harper Sherrod. Tapper to third. Double pump over to first. Got her! Mitchell doing work for her third baseman. Well, right now, Michigan still on the field as Brian Jones going over to talk to first. So the call on the field was the runner was out at first, but we are still working to have that confirmed before we get fully out of the top half of the fifth.
And I think it is worth the conversation with the stretch from Mitchell. Looks like the umpires are getting together, going over to where they look at the play during challenges.
So this is an official challenge asked for by Brian Jones. On the call at first, it was that the runner was out on the nubber to third. And regardless, a great stretch by Mitchell over at first to even make it a bang-bang play.
Yeah, and I think this is the right decision by Jones, the manager, because of how close this was and the type of ball game that they're in. Let's take a look. Because it's a slow roller, it gives the base runner time. Then the double pump, it's hard to see. Yeah, it looks like an out. Great job by Mitchell. She's stretching towards third. Ball kind of starts to tail more up the line. I think it was a smart decision to challenge. You get 2 challenges per game. If you're successful, you keep it. If you're not, one gets taken away. But in the 5th inning, let's take another look at it. Yeah, ball secure, and Mitchell's right foot is still very much on the bag. So I think this call is going to stand.
I agree with you, and as a former third baseman, I am thanking my first baseman. Let me buy you something from Sephora, from Ulta. What can I get you? Because that is a tremendous stretch. That ball was tailing away and dropping from Mitchell on the throw from Trotter. But from that angle that we just had, I think that call is upheld. It looked like she got her by a step.
Yeah, definitely. And think about if that ball gets away from Mitchell down the first base line, 1 run definitely going to score. Maybe even batter getting to third. So just a great job by Mitchell. She's laughing now, but when she initially stood up, it looked like she had a little bit of uncomfortability. Maybe after that stretch. I mean, if I tried to get into a stretch like that,
nope.
I don't know if I'd be getting up.
I don't think I could squat behind the plate at this point in my life. As we still have a review going on. Top of the 5th inning. It would be the 3rd out for South Carolina, send us into the home half of the 5th with a 14-5 lead in favor of Grand Blanc, Michigan. Call has been confirmed, so a ground out to end it. Taylor gets back-to-back strikeouts. That's how we head to the bottom of the 5th. Welcome back. The big inning for Michigan was a 9-run second to take control.
Yeah, their bats have been on fire since yesterday. Home runs all around the board. Trotter, and then look at this double, or I should say home run by Jackson. She's just a triple short of the cycle. Another home run. Addie Taylor now pitching in the game. The Scuba coming in home. We've seen just about everything from this Michigan offense.
Well, certainly power on full display for the defending champions as Kate Mitchell, who made the fantastic snag over at first, leads off the bottom of the 5th inning for Michigan. 14-5. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning, so run rule potentially in effect. It would be 10 after 5 to make this a shortened game. As that one chopped foul by Mitchell. We have not had a 1-2-3 inning yet in this game.
Yeah, and if you're Michigan, sometimes when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, you start to swing a little bit bigger. But for Southeast, the challenge is keeping Michigan off the bases, keeping them away from home plate, trying to extend this game. It's been a really tall task for them because of how potent this offense is for Michigan.
Mitchell starts it off with a line drive single through the 5-6 hole. Now on that graphic, it did say home team has to bat in their half of the inning. Worth noting that Michigan is the home team in this game.
Yeah, so a walk-off scenario for Michigan. If they can score a run, but Mitchell doing a good job on that change-up, keeping her hands back.
McKenna Cresbaugh, 1 for 2, a walk, a double, and a pop-up. Lifted towards the right side. Oh, misplayed. It got caught up in the sun. Cresbaugh standing on first, and Mitchell able to scamper down to second base. That's Boyle, who entered the game as a pinch runner in at second base.
And at this time of the day, we have a tent, so it's really hard for us to see where the sun. But it looks like the first baseman, Stevens, was going for the ball at first, then looks at Boyle, the second baseman. They're both calling ball. A little bit of a miscue, but this is Boyle's first inning playing at second base after she came in the game to pinch run. And so you still got those first inning nerves, even if it's the 5th inning.
And it is Kate Sheely that is over at first base. So defensive changes for South Carolina in the bottom of the 5th inning. New right side of the infield, plus the added no clouds in the sky, sun straight up overhead can make that much more difficult than it would initially seem off the bat.
Yeah, my favorite weather as a player is cloud coverage, because the sun, even when you're wearing a visor, even sunglasses, it can make for really tough sun balls. I know my fellow outfielders that are listening probably cringe at the sound of sunballs, but something that you got to play through. And Kate Sheely doesn't have a visor or sunglasses there at first, and neither does Boyle, so they're just toughing it out.
Well, the result is 2 on, no one out for Michigan, and a first pitch strike delivered. Caitlin Brennan, the batter, stepping in.
For Southeast to be able to keep this game going, like we talked about, run rules in effect. So they have to play lockdown defense, can't let anyone score.
And the walk-off run now standing on second, so in scoring position. Pulled foul down the third base line. And you mentioned Michigan potentially swinging a little bit bigger. In the way that they swing, it's just so free in the way that it looks to me.
Definitely. That's where you want to be as a batter. I think if I had one regret during my career is not swinging free from freshman to senior year. When you get older, you realize you can't figure out what adjustment you need to make until you swing as hard as you can. And Michigan, no problem with that at all. They are swinging hard, swinging early.
13 hits pounded out for Central today. 9 different players have recorded a hit for Grand Blanc, setting themselves up as a really difficult out in this tournament. Still a ways to go in this one. Pitch from Goff. Kat Goff came in relief of Emma Grace Birchmore, who got the start, has pitched valiantly in that effort. Full count. Driven out to left center field. It's off the base of the fence. Zach Orr waving the runner around, and that makes it a 10-run ball game.
And what a swing
The final score, Michigan
from
15,
Stevenson.
South Carolina 5.
Doing a great job, Brennan doing a great job, just getting an elevated pitch, 3-2 count, driving it to left field, was patient through that at bat, and patience, name of the game for Michigan. And their offense just completely dominated. I love the fight from South Carolina. Tough loss yesterday, came in, started better, was more aggressive, just getting better every single game.
Well, an offensive explosion by Grand Blanc, Michigan, as they start the tournament 2-0 in pursuit of back-to-back championships. For Southeast, they're going to have to regroup quickly. They will be back on this field next, taking on the team from the Czech Republic. So for Riley West and our entire crew here in Delaware, I'm Dorian Kraft saying so long from this game. Michigan, your winners 15-5. Don't go anywhere. We still have 2 games ahead here at the Senior League Softball World Series.